Wow, 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 wow. Wow, big starting the show sound effects. Hello, everybody. Hello, hi. Hi, hello. Yes, clapping's very good. Clapping's appreciated. Anybody? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, very grateful. Feel good about that. Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob McFadden. This is Comedy from Home Sweet Home. This is a comedy open mic. Most of you are performing or with a performer, so I think you know that. I can skip a big part of this then. Just a couple things I should go over. One, if you want a drink, go downstairs, order one, they'll hand it to you. If you order food, they'll bring it up to you. Number two, this is a bathroom. Legally, we cannot stop you from using this bathroom. However, if you do, everyone on stage can hear you peeing. And if you hold the microphone to the door, everyone in the building can hear you peeing. And it always hits harder than anyone's jokes. So, you may do whatever you like. And if you plan to go in there with 3 of your girlfriends and do coke, you wouldn't be the first people to do it on camera, so enjoy that. Aside from that, I think that's all the rules I feel like going over. We're going to have a fun show. It's going to be a tight show. It's going to be a light show. We have only a few performers tonight. I hope you guys can stay for everybody. A lot of pressure on you, first time performing. One of only a few, sort of like a showcase show, really, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. No pressure, no pressure. It's all good. I should address the big elephant in the room, everybody. You are all correct. This is a new wedding ring. My wife just bought me a new wedding ring. I didn't know that was allowed. I was sitting on the couch, she's like, hey, check it out. I got you a new wedding ring. I was like, I like the one we got married in. That one has like significance to me. She's like, no, it's old. And then she took it and put it somewhere, I don't know where. So I just have a new wedding ring now. Also, my wife doesn't do anything half-assed. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then an hour or two later, I went and checked our online banking, and I was like, oh, fuck me. I have a new nice wedding ring, and I'm very sad about it. I was going to buy a new Switch. Not now. All right, that's that bit. My wife is pregnant, which is why she's doing crazy stuff. My wife she's pregnant again. We've done this many times before. And I always have, so obviously from all the pregnancies, I like to have sex with my wife, you know. I like it, yeah. Thank you. I do find it hard to have sex with my wife when she's pregnant. Not because, you know, any of the changes. I like the changes, you know. It's more of a, all right, I'll stop, it's getting weird. But let me ask you, sir. Do you like to have sex with women? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool? Yeah, me too. I'm into it. But so especially when my wife's at her 3rd trimester, like it's difficult for. Let me ask you this. So have you ever tried to have sex with a woman while a third party is actively kicking you off of her? Like, that's my mom, get off! Like, I know, I did that. There's a baby and okay. Now it's weird because I'm having a daughter, so I'm like, I should listen to her. What is my son's? I'm like, shut up, boy, you don't know what you're saying. All right, I'll move on from that and probably never say it again. My son is old enough to the point now where he's starting to repeat things that I say and get in trouble. Like, he just got a new daycare. I don't want to say daycare teacher because they're not really learning anything aside from putting on sunblock and not stabbing themselves, right? But a new daycare person, right? A 19-year-old woman named Miss Bree. She's very nice. I found her name is Miss Bree, and I said you should go in and say, hey, my name is Slices of Apples McFadden. Bree and apples, you know? And we went to pick him up. She's like, your son's so funny. I said, hey, I'm Miss Bree. It was her first day. She said, I'm Miss Bree. And he said, I'm Slices of Apples McFadden. And I turned red, you know? And then we got out into the car, and my wife was like, you turned red. But she said, were you embarrassed? And I said, no. A 19-year-old girl said it was funny. And that's how I got in trouble. All right. I never get silver to laugh. Now the whole night was worth it. All right. I don't know if you guys saw Amazon. Amazon has now got the rights to James Bond, and this week they just they've edited all of the covers for the films to remove all of the guns from the covers to the James Bond films. A lot of awkward hand gestures. You can go look that up. But they did it, they said, because people shouldn't be browsing Amazon and be subjected to guns, like a sort of trigger warning thing, right? Like, we wouldn't want people to think of undue gun violence in today's political culture. So if anyone's on Amazon looking to watch Live and Let Die, Man with a Golden Gun, A View to a Kill, License to Kill, or Die Another Day. Now they won't be reminded of gun violence. And then they can start a movie where in every single one of the 32 movies, the protagonist shoots you in the face in the first 30 seconds of the title card. But they won't be reminded of gun violence because they've edited the posters. Isn't that important? All right. Speaking of media, I don't know if you guys saw, Larry Ellison just bought CBS. He's also the majority shareholder in the new TikTok arrangement. May not be that impressive, no one cares, but the thing that stood out to me is every time they describe him on the news, they go, he is the largest private donator to the Israeli military. Which is that's a weird thing to be known for. I didn't even know that was legal. I didn't know you could just donate to other countries' militaries. That's interesting. Also, I was like, who does that? Maybe, is that like being a Scottish lord, or if I just get $500, I'm now a Scottish lord? Like, how much money do I have to be the world's largest private donor to the St. Kitts and Nevis private military? I know nothing about that country. I Googled it before we started. I hope I'm not supporting genocide in wherever that is. But yes, Larry Ellison now owns CBS, Paramount, and TikTok. You know, some people say the Jews control the media, and I'm the last comic in the city who likes the Jews. I don't think that's true. But I will say a large majority of it is IDF backed, so maybe don't fuck around. See, you bring up the IDF and this whole city's like, fuck them. It's weird. It's 10-7, I know. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to finish with a couple of things here. When I was a younger man, I used to hate hand jobs. Now I'm an older man, I don't get hand jobs anymore. That's just the thing, you get older and you stop doing hand jobs. But when I was a younger man, I used to hate hand jobs. And I would never I would always lose focus. Like to the point, you ever get in a hand job so long, you're looking down at your dick and you're like, her fingers look like little baby carrots. But that would actually get me back into it, because you know what goes great with baby carrots? A little side of ranch. Cum. That's the joke there, it's cum. All right. I was watching the news. I was watching the news the other day, and they were discussing whatever, right? And they were discussing someone from the other party, whatever. This is how you do a non-political joke, Ben. They were discussing the opposition party, and the commentator said, "Hey, on this position, that person, they're attacking and retreating at the same time, which is impossible to do." And I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And clearly, that person has never been attacked by a goose before. Because if you've ever been attacked by a goose, that is exactly what you do. You attack and retreat at the same get the fuck away from me, goose. That's the only joke I had with an act out. As you can see, I was not prepared for it. I will finish with this. As I'm getting ready to have my third kid, people always ask, they know I do comedy, they're like, you must be great at dad jokes. My wife would say to me all the time, you'd be so excited to do the dad jokes. I don't know what that means. But I was thinking about it, and I think here, let me see if I can do this, all right? So I need everyone, knock, knock. Who's there? Open the fucking door! I pay the mortgage in this house. You will not lock a fucking door in my house. Okay, I think I had a different dad than you guys did. That was my dad's idea of a fun joke. That's why I don't do a lot of dad jokes around the house. All right, guys, I've been Jacob McFadden. You guys ready for your very first comedian in the evening? All right. I'm older than I look. I'm 27. We're gonna keep this thing moving, everybody. What did I write down? Oh, don't say anything racist this time. All right, let me cross it out. Your next comic, everybody, you're going to love your next comic. You're going to recognize your next comic from television. He was on UFC 237, everybody. Put your hands together for Seph Smith. Hey! Oh, this guy's Joe Rogan.
I am Joe Rogan. By the way, one thing about one-ply toilet paper, you fold it in half, it's two-ply toilet paper. No. Fold it again 3 times. And my house is only one-ply toilet paper. I don't like that soft shit. It turns into butt dreads. It breaks apart. It gets stuck all over your ass. I'm alone on this? Okay, well, you know what? Y'all just don't know what's good for you, okay? I think it's weird how you can take like a 2-word thing and just switch the order of the words and then it becomes a whole different thing, right? Like the other day, I saw something called water ice. That's a thing. That is not to be confused with ice water. You eat water ice, that's a completely different experience. You ask for a Playboy, you get a look. You ask for a Boy Play magazine, you end up on a list. I got a new thing I just invented. It's called dog corn. It's just a bowl of corn with a hot dog chopped up in it. When you're eating dog corn, you can't use utensils. That's the laws of dog corn. You gotta eat it with your face. So speaking of dogs, I've got a dog. She's a pit bull heeler mix. Her name's Jolene. She's white as snow, most of her. And the other day, I had to take her to the vet. And it was because she threw up blood on my floor. And I was very concerned. I was like, oh, my sweet little princess. She's throwing up blood on the floor. That's scary. So I took her into the vet, and they were like, hey, the vomit with the blood in it, not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But your dog has a gross vagina. I was like, Doc, maybe I didn't go to veterinarian school, but I think all dogs have gross vaginas. But he was like, no, I'm just saying it's kind of brown and it's, you know, got a lot of inflammation around the folds of the vulva. I was like, sir, you're talking about my dog's vulva folds? How did we get here? I came in and I asked you about my dog vomiting and you're talking about her vagina. If I went to the doctor and I was like, Doc, I got a headache that just won't go away. And he's like, okay, let me see your penis. I would be a little confused. I mean, I would show it to him. I'm not the doctor. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. But be a little strange. But he told me that she's got a problem. It's kind of brown. So now my girlfriend and I have to use medicated wipes to wipe off her vagina once a day. And it's something we have to do together. So I'll hold the dog down and I let my girlfriend do the rest. And then to spare her the trauma, we give her a treat afterwards. So now she thinks that's how you get a treat. So she keeps jumping up on the couch and rolling over and being like, Daddy, is this what you want? And I'm like, no, Jolene. And, you know, next thing you know, you're going to find her walking the strip in Vegas, smoking a cigarette, trying to turn tricks for treats. We turned our dog into a prostitute. So that's all I got tonight. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Wow, from the octagon to an awful dog, huh? Huh? That's wordplay. All right. I also have a dog. I have an old dog, so my dog like sometimes just has random accidents around the house. Remember how earlier I said my son's getting me in trouble lately? So my son had an accident going to the potty the other day, and I told him, just tell Mom the dog did. And he told her that, and then she came over and started yelling at the dog, and then he started laughing and said, Daddy told me to say it was the dog that did it. And then I left. I didn't know what to do. I pretended I was going to go get the mail, and then I just walked to Dunkin' Donuts and back. It took like an hour. I assume everything was solved. I don't know. We haven't talked about it, and we won't until the divorce proceedings. All right, we're going to keep this thing moving. Your next comic coming to the stage. This guy has to get out of here in time for his limo to pick him up. He's a big deal. He's the only performer tonight with a professional driver, everybody. Put your hands together for James Proffitt.
Well, good evening, everybody. Hope you like some good senior jokes. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I hope some of y'all get this. Some of you seniors might. Okay. 3 old guys at a senior home sitting outside. One guy just talking about their problems. One guy says, man, when I get up at 7 o'clock, it takes me a half hour to urinate. The other guy said, that's rough. The other guy says, I get up at 7:30, takes me a half hour to take a good bowel movement. The other guy says, at 7 o'clock I urinate, 7:30, I take a bowel movement. So what's your problem then? I don't get up to 8 o'clock. My mother-in-law, when I was married, said, Jim, please come over. I need your help. I said, oh, no, not again. I said, what's the problem? I said, I'm trying to do this puzzle. I can't figure it out. So I went over there. I saw it laid on the table. I said, what is it supposed to be? She said, a big rooster. I said, Arnie, let's sit down, get a cup of coffee, let's relax, and let's get the cornflakes back in the box. My idea of a hot date. A lot of people think I'm going out for a hot date for a hot hottie, when really all I'm doing is going to Costco and get a rotisserie chicken. And you think that's bad. When I got divorced, man, dating scene was rough. I said, the only thing I attract female-wise was mosquitoes, blow-up dolls, and mannequins. Now that's bad. Another dating site. Since you brought up dating sites, me and my lady friend, we were just meeting. We were going and said, come meet my parents tonight. And afterwards, go to the pharmacy and get some condoms. It'll be our first time. I said, okay. So I was fumbling through the condoms, and pharmacist came over and said, what you looking for, son? I said, well, my girlfriend is hot, and her mom's pretty hot, so give me a couple condoms. So I went over to her house. I didn't feel good. My girlfriend said, what's wrong? I said, you didn't tell me your father was a pharmacist. How many of y'all like going to grocery stores? You think grocery stores are sexist in the produce section? Think about it. Women up here, apples, watermelons, cantaloupes. Men, well, you get the idea. Bananas, cucumbers. And another grocery store joke. I was assigned to go to a grocery store. The grocery store was set up to be authentic and the aroma to be perfect. So I walked through there, and around the produce section, you could see the water coming down, water in the produce. You walk through the bakery, the smell was intoxicating. You walk through the meat department, they had the grill going, steak and onions. You go through the dairy, you can hear the chickens clucking happily. But I wouldn't recommend buying toilet paper there. Well, I went to the gym and I asked the trainer, I said, what machine attracts the women the best? He told me to go to the ATM. I'll finish up on 2 religious jokes. One guy, he just couldn't use your imagination. A guy was on an escalator to hell, and he saw Satan with a woman, and he said, for God out loud, I'm going to hell, and Satan's got my ex-wife. And the last one, 3 women died, went to heaven. And Peter says, there's one rule up here. You can't step on the duck, or you're going to be punished. One woman didn't pay attention. All of a sudden you heard quack. Peter heard it, said, you're getting the ugliest guy here. The second woman tried her best, quack. Okay, Peter said, here's an ugly man for you. The third woman did her best, and Peter was impressed with her. Said, now, your reward is you're going to get the most handsome, good-looking guy, just perfect. And she saw him and said, my gosh, how did I deserve you? He said, I don't know about you, but I stepped on that stupid duck. Thank you a lot.
Give a go to James Proffitt, everybody. James Proffitt. It's a big deal to get religious jokes out of James Proffitt. He hasn't talked much about religion since he brought these 2 tablets down from a mountain. Big deal for him. Did not work out well for the next 40 years. I love religious street jokes. I have one. So sometimes when you do this, random people will come and be like, "You're a comedian. Tell me a joke." And the right way to handle that is to come up with the most offensive street jokes you can and just have them in your back pocket. So this happens to me at church sometimes. Someone will do that, and I always here's my religious street joke I always use to get people to stop talking to me. A rabbi and a Catholic father are walking down the street, and they see a young boy across the road. And the Catholic father turns to the rabbi and says, "Do you want to fuck him?" And the rabbi says, "Out of what?" I guarantee if you tell that joke at Sunday Mass, no one asks you a follow-up. No one wants to know when you're performing next. They just let it go. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Your next comic endorses that joke 100%. She's like, these religious figures need to be stopped from having sex with the children or swindling them. She hates both equally. Everybody put your hands together for Jordan Phipps. Your next comic, this is their very first time here. I believe it's maybe their first time doing stand-up, second time doing stand-up. Well, not as impressive to me then. Your next comic is a veteran of the trade, everybody. Put your hands together for Dawne.
Thank you, Jacob. I want you to know, Jacob, that you are being mean to the oldest person in the room. I'm 3 years older than Jim. I'm 76. And this is aging with attitude, ladies. I have to admit something. I'm an adrenaline junkie, which is probably why I'm here. Hang gliding, parasailing, ziplining, whitewater rafting. And I have a broken leg. Well, actually, I tore the whole ankle off the leg. I wish I could say I did it doing black diamond skiing. Did not. Fell down my garage stairs. Come on in, Virgin. We're waiting for you. It's been a long time since I've been a virgin. I was a good Catholic girl. Well, maybe not so good of a Catholic girl, but I was a good girl until I met my first husband, Frank. I've now had 2 husbands named Frank, and a son named Frank, and a grandson named Frank, and the biological father of my adopted son is Frank. I frankly think I have a problem with Franks. Anyway, that marriage started off on the wrong foot. He went on our honeymoon by himself and didn't come back for 2 weeks. And it just got worse from there. But that's okay. After 7 years, I finally gave up and got rid of him. And I dated a lot. But I found out something about myself. I'm a sapiosexual. I get turned on by men with brains. I don't mean a little turned on. I mean, they could say the right word to me and I could have an orgasm. I'm married to a little boy from MIT, has himself 5 engineering degrees. Our good night, getting ready, foreplay, is watching Jeopardy and competing. And guess what? If he wins, the question is, what's not happening tonight, sweetheart? But there is nothing more sexy than both of us at the same time screaming out, "What is mitochondria?" Our anniversary is coming up soon, and I think he's getting ready. I found 15 recorded episodes of Jeopardy! I don't know how we're going to get them to the hotel yet, though. I'll figure that out later. When we first got married, I had revisions about getting married. I had been engaged 4.5 times, one guy twice. All of them really smart, but just something was missing. And I kind of felt I needed to do something to make this one work. I mean, I had waited 23 years to do it the second time. And so I bought all the beautiful negligees I could find. And when you're a woman of substance, that's a little harder. But I found some lovely pieces. And nothing seemed to turn them on with the negligees. Big words did, but not that. In fact, our first date was almost our last date when he spent 45 minutes talking about water-soluble polymers. I'm pretty smart and I know what water is and soluble, and I even knew what polymers were. And I had to tell him he needed to back up or it was going to be our last date. And then he said, thermodynamics. Well, I wanted to figure out how to set off his thermodynamics, but nothing was doing it. Until one night, I had matching bras and panties and he went wild. It's a lot harder now to find panties that match my bras that match my Depends, but that's okay, I'm working on it. Some people think that old people don't have sex. We have sex. It may not be the kind of sex that you think about, but we do still have sex. And just the other night he said to me, "Do you want to go upstairs and have sex, sweetheart?" I said, "Hey babe, I have energy for one or the other, but not both." My brother has his in-laws living with them, and they both have Alzheimer's. My brother's a very kind man. It takes a lot of kindness to take care of your in-laws. And a couple weeks ago he called me and he said, "Dawne, you've got to help me." And I said, "What?" He said, "I need to tear my eyes out and tear my ears off." And I said, "Michael, what are you talking about?" He said, "Bob screamed the other night," and he said, "Come, Michael, help, quick." And I said, "Okay," and he ran into the bedroom and he said, and there was Betty on the floor, stark, raven naked. I couldn't believe it. I had Bob help me get her up and I said, "How the hell did this happen?" And then I realized Bob was naked too. And he said, "We were having sex." They can't remember my name, but they know how to have sex. Well, I hope I still have sex to the very last minute, because I want to go with a little thermodynamics from my little MIT guy. Thank you, Jacob.
All right, give it up for Dawne, everybody. Dawne. Having trouble finding bras that match her Depends. But I've seen the commercials. Once you pee in them, the strip turns blue, so just get a blue bra. It's all about preparation, everybody. I can relate to Dawne. My wife has a PhD in chemical engineering. Yeah. And now that we have a joint checkings account, whenever she talks about science, I'm like, stop, please. It's so boring. I don't understand a fucking word you're saying. She does consult. I'm not supposed to say this stuff. She does consulting work now, and she just got a job from the National Fenestration Research Council. And I said, what is that? They research people who fall into buildings? She said, no, they research windows, you idiot. And then I texted back, I hope both of your children die in your arms. Yeah, I made a mistake. I regret it. But I don't think I should be stopped from being the Attorney General, everybody. It's just a mistake I made. Anyways, Your next comedian is my opponent in this race. Please welcome your candidate for Republican Attorney General, John Rademacher, everybody. All right, we're gonna keep this thing moving. Your next comic, you know what? You probably know him because he's here from Charlottesville. Yeah, where he's very poor. But unlike you, he doesn't get molested and get free cars. He just has to carpool with John Rademacher. Well, working implies you file taxes. Otherwise, it's just sort of a gig. Anyways, your next comic, I don't know whether he gigs with dicks or not. Anyways, put your hands together for Mike Walls.
It's Matt Waz, but doesn't matter, I'm never coming here again. No. Alright, how we doing, everybody? Could you imagine if comedians took as long to come up to the mic as baseball players take to get ready for bat? Like, we just came up here and we're like, wouldn't that be a lot more fun for everybody? All right. Anyway, it's great to be here. I've always wanted to do comedy in a schizophrenic person's bedroom. It's really awesome. Oh, God, I'm so thirsty. I'm just going to stick with the beer. I heard the water here is kind of shitty. I don't know. Oh, I shouldn't make fun of Richmond because, I mean, Charlottesville, we got some problems, too. It's not too bad. It's not too great. We got problems, Johnny. It's not perfect out there. We're fine, yeah, whatever. It's more just the traffic that gets to me. These fucking Charlottesvillians in traffic. All right, I don't know how to explain this. It's like, she's probably a good example. Charlottesville's just full of people like whose parents drove them to school. You know? We're like all the, I don't want to say normal, but like all the regular people, their parents are like, I pay taxes for that fucking bus to be there. Get on it. I don't know. I did get a ride to school at one point, though. It was when my sister got her license. But who do you know that thinks their sister's a good driver? Huh? Like, yeah, she drove me to school, but I mean, she never stopped a car. I was like a fucking paratrooper getting ready to jump into Normandy. Like, doors open, red light, stand by. All right, here we go. Green light, go. Out the door, do a barrel roll. It was awesome. All right, I was talking to my therapist the other day, and he was like, do you feel like your inner child is like alive and well? Like, that's a good question, right? Like your inner child, you would want that to be good. And I was like, bro, I think he's behind the wheel. If anything, he has too much control. No, he's alive and well and making all my spending decisions. I have like really, really bad ADHD, and I don't know if you guys have noticed these Instagram ads lately. They're very targeted, and I feel very susceptible to it. I get an ad and they're like, do you want some throwing stars? And I'm like, I look over in the corner at my Full Metal, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe katana sword. I'm like, yeah, I probably should get some throwing stars. It wouldn't really be a complete set. Does anybody have a coworker or just anyone they know that's a parent? And a parent that like can't turn off their parenting voice when they're around like regular people? I have this one coworker that drives me nuts. He's like, I'll just be staring there and I'm like, oh shit, that's a sick car outside, man. And he's like, yeah, you like cars? Is that your favorite? Do you like trucks too? You probably like trucks looking at you. And it doesn't bother me because of like how condescending it sounds. It's like, it really works on me. Every time. I love talking about cars. I'll talk about them for a long time. Talk about a lot of cars and trucks. I have a truck. I don't know if I brought that up. It's pretty sick. It's actually very old and falling apart. I saw a dog when I was coming in, and it was barking at this guy. It looked concerned. And I was like, that kind of reminded me, you guys know Lassie, right? You know, she's like, oh, someone's stuck in a well or whatever. But I checked the tag on this dog as it was barking. I saw his name was Cassie. City Lassie. She's not saying someone's stuck in a well. She's like, woo, 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 Narcan, Narcan, my owner's ODing on a sidewalk. All right. I'm going to say one more thing, probably two things here that'll really turn you Richmond folk off. I need your help determining whether I'm a bad person or not. So I got a notification today on my Bible app. Got a little passage. And I need your help because I'm going to tell you what I thought after I read it. So here's the verse. Be free from the love of money, content with such things as you have. For he has said, I will no way leave you, neither will I any way forsake you. My first thought, that's got to be from the New Testament. Hebrews 5:1. Oh boy. I've been having fun. It's been great to be here. How much time do I have? 40 seconds. 40 seconds. This has been real, y'all. Keep it real in Richmond. This is a lot of fun. God bless everybody. I'm bringing your excellent host, Jacob, back up. Thank you for your time, guys.
Silver, you seen that new AI video editor they have? Anyways, I said Matt Walls when I introduced. I don't know what that was about. I said Matt. I definitely said Matt. So this guy's crazy. Everybody, give it for Matt Walls, everybody. Matt Walls. These are from Charlottesville. Yeah, it's funny. My wife is from a small town in Ohio called Maumee, Ohio, and they only have one famous resident. And he's famous because in 2017 he ran over a woman in Charlottesville. Now they don't have a statue or a plaque to him or anything. They do in Charlottesville, and can you believe it? The motherfuckers cut his name out. It's you know, they just honored the lady he hit, and it's like, hey, what about the hard-working Ohio guy who? It's a 7-hour drive. I've done it. It took a lot of work to get there, is all I'm saying. So glad you guys are laughing at that, because my wife hates it when I bring that up. She really hates it when I bring it up. The last time we were there, we took like a big community meeting, and I brought it up, and she was like, not the right place to bring it up. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not from small town Ohio where we radicalize people to run over women in their cars. I don't know what we're supposed to talk about. And she said, mostly crosswalks, and I was like, you should talk about him a little more, I guess. That guy did not understand the concepts. Anyways, my son's half Ohioan, so those are all jokes. I respect all Ohio residents. Well, that petered out. Your next comic has never run over anyone at a Unite the Right rally. And I was in the back seat saying, just go. Just go. They can't stop us. Legally, they're in the road. Just go. Anyways, put your hands together for, get the AI ready, Zephyr Mann. Come on, Zephyr Mann, everybody.
I've come here to anxiously pick at my skin and to tell goofs, and I'm all out of skin. Just kidding, I have skin. I actually have bad skin. In fact, my skin is so bad. Who are you, my dermatologist? Just kidding. I do have bad skin. Once you get past my bad skin, once you get past my rough exterior, I'm kind of a nice guy. No, I know. I don't have a rough exterior. But I do have a rough interior, or as my doctor likes to call it, IBS. Thank you. Do you have any other tinnitus sufferers here tonight? Let me hear you make a high-pitched ringing noise. Wow, a lot of you out there. Sorry to hear that. I recently developed telepathy. Now, I know what you're thinking. I went to a hot dog the other day and a baseball game broke out. Thank you. Talking about baseball games, personally, I think it's tremendously wasteful that they always throw out the first pitch. Thank you. Did anybody else see the movie Subservience with Megan Fox as the robot? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Oh, that sucks. Megan Fox is a robot. I feel that movie is a little unrealistic, because if that were happening in real life, she'd be saying Arby's ads every 10 minutes because the guy didn't spring for the premium subscription. Thank you. I also saw The Thing recently. Has anybody seen The Thing? All right, rock on. The thing I like about The Thing is that it drops you right into the middle of the action. It's like Act 1. Okay, now here's the thing. Thank you. I was recently diagnosed with reverse Benjamin Button disease. It's a terrible fate, but that's life. That, of course, is where you age as you get older. This is a fun fact. Did you know that in Australia, they just call that Benjamin Button disease? They don't say the reverse. It's kind of like how the toilets swirl backwards. Thank you. Actually, this is true. Did you all hear that they're making a sequel to the movie Benjamin Button? And they've already cast Matthew McConaughey to play the titular Button. I saw a preview, and it went a little something like this. That's what I love about high school girls. I get younger, they stay the same age. Did you hear they're making a sequel to the movie Old? The Beach That Makes You Old by M. Night Shyamalan. Did you all see that movie? Anybody see that movie? It's a beach that makes you old. Matthew McConaughey is set to star in the sequel. I saw a preview, and it goes a little something like this. That's what I love about the beach that makes you old. I get older. Thank you very much. I've got one more impression that I would like to do. I'm really hoping that you all are familiar with the TV show Monk, the detective show. Great. All right. This is an impression of the detective Monk, the titular Monk, if you will, having sex. Thank you. I've got one more I would like to end with. This is a joke that my neighbor told me recently. I really hope I get the delivery right. My neighbor said, "Take his wife, please." I'll keep working on it. Thank you. Thank you, Jacob.
Zephyr Mann, everybody. It's a bold move to end on a catchphrase from a comic that died before James Proffitt was born. That's wild. Boy. All right, we are down to our final comic of the evening. Your next comic is an offensive act, I'm not gonna lie. Your next comic has often been described as the most sexist performer in the city. By me. I've described him that way. He is the most sexist performer in the city. Your next comic is, boy, he's a lot. But I have a policy here of being into free speech, you know? I even let Seph Smith's brother eat here, and look at his fucking normal ears. It's weird. Your next comic. Fuck me. Your next comic wrote an intro he'd like me to read. Hey, you pussy bitches! You sat around for this whole fucking show like a bunch of losers, but I hope you dickwads are ready for some real shit now. Your next performer coming to the stage is the motherfucking OG. Ladies, put a bounty in your panties so you don't fall out of your seats. Don't encourage him. Everybody, if you're not too busy fingering, clap your fucking hands for Dawne McCabe.
Yeah, I just jerked off with that hand too. How'd y'all like that intro? Woo! Ladies, you're gonna need that bouncy in there, and I'm talking about the paper towels, because it's about to be like Williamsburg, water country, USA. All right, let's get into it, guys. Fucking good news this week. You guys hear? Our beloved mascot Francine is back. Absolutely. Is everyone hip to what's going on about this Lowe's cat? Yeah. You know, the cat, it got on the truck, it woke up in North Carolina, it went missing for a week. It's like me every time I don't close out my tab here. But no, the best thing about that whole situation is I cannot wait to script this up and sell the movie rights, because this whole story is Pixar's wet dream, right? Beloved town pet goes missing, and then they find it. It's like, I think it's really cool. You know, they got a fucking petition that had over 2,000 signatures, right? And they were able to get this cat back through grassroots movement. Could you imagine if we applied just a little bit of that to getting us drinkable water? Yeah. Guys, I had something weird happen to me today. You guys ever get texts from like random numbers? Yeah, like all the time, right? And like, do you guys ever fuck with those random numbers who text you? No? Oh my God, you guys are living on the wrong side of life here. It is so much fun, because it's like, if it's like political, I like, you know, they'll be like, Winsome Earl Sears is down 13 points. And it's like, you must help by donating now. And it's just like, I don't know where my wallet is, and also I will set your building on fire. And they'll never respond. But today I got one today, and it was a vague message. It said, hey, can I ask you a favor? And like, you know, benefit of the doubt, I was like, all right, maybe this is someone whose number I don't have saved, like a coworker or something. So I was like, who is this? And they're like, you don't know me. See, I text random numbers and I ask for advice. And I was like, oh boy. And I was like, so lay it on me. They said, I'm feeling a bit down. What's something that you do to get rid of like coping, you know, like to get rid of the blues? And I said, frankly, I just keep the gun in my mouth at all times and let fate decide. Unless I fall asleep. She said, you're really funny, you should be a comedian. I was like, that's why you do not text random numbers. Oh God. Guys, I got, speaking of putting a gun in my mouth, I realized that I have 9 months, that if I die within these 9 months, I can be in the 27 club, and I think that's really cool. I don't think I'm gonna die from maybe like a gun in my mouth, maybe something else. But if you guys are wondering, it's like, why do you want to be in the 27 club, Danny? Like that's a little weird. No real reason. I just think it'd be really cool to have my shirt, like my face on a shirt, memorialized at Hot Topic. You know, I want teenagers to wear shirts with my face on it, just so guys can come up to them and be like, "You don't know Danny McCabe. Name 4 of his jokes." Whatever. Guys, you guys ever had like a close friend who gets into a relationship and like the partner doesn't know how like to talk to you? Right. It's kind of how I imagine like, you know, getting a step parent would be, because like one of my good friends, he got a girlfriend recently, and like we would hang out a lot. Now he hangs out with her, and it's like there's always like this amount of guilt that like the new partner has. Like, you know, because they're always trying to you know, connect with you, and they're like, you know, they're speaking to you exactly like, you know, they're dating someone with a kid. They're just be like, "Hey, I heard you're really into smoking weed." Me too. You know, maybe one of these days, if he allows it, you know, you and I could go out back and smoke a blunt together. You know, and I'm like, okay. Guilt them shit out of that. That's just some thoughts. I know what you guys are thinking. What happened to my finger? I cut myself for attention. I did it at work, and it actually worked. I did get attention, but it wasn't the right kind. I got it from my boss. And now my workers' comp is going to be denied. I'm just kidding. But no, it is serious, because I did cut this. I don't have health insurance, so that sucks. They told me I had to take a lot of Tylenol for this, and I got really concerned, because as soon as I took one, I started having like these visions of like trains and like how many toothpicks were dropped on the floor. You know, I was able to win ping pong tournaments and fight in Vietnam. I had a successful shrimp company. I raised a daughter, and I was played by Sean Penn really poorly. But I realized, I was like, well, hey, I mean, I don't have insurance, but I need to find a way to get myself tested after taking all this Tylenol, right? And so I was like, well, if I can't go to a psychiatrist, I'll just go to the next best thing. And so I went to a Super Smash Brothers tournament. I lost. Turns out, that was actually not Tylenol. It was acetaminophen. We're all good there. We're all good. I had this thought recently. I saw that like this pair of conjoined twins like got married, right? But like, you know, you can only marry one of the conjoined twins, right? And like usually the other one doesn't get married. But like it just kind of makes me think, because it's like, how does that work? You know, like I know what you're thinking, like kind of in the bedroom. Like, could you imagine like you're like a conjoined twin, and like you're the other twin not getting married, but you don't like the partner of like your conjoined sibling? Like, could you just imagine how the sex goes? Like, do you think they feel that? Like, you know, they're having sex over here, and then it's like you're the other head just right here, like trying to watch Netflix and just being like, no, she can't feel that. Try harder. This is the part that Jacob warned you about. I've always had a lot of issues, especially with the ladies. I walked out, well, the love of my life walked out on me. She was awesome. She was from Australia. But when we were finally about to do the deed, she got really mad at me because I was like, well, I don't really know if I want to stick it in the pouch. She goes, the pouch? And I go, yeah, you're from Australia. All mammals from Australia have pouches. She did not like that. But it's weird, because then you get yourself into like situationships, right? You know, like it's something a little bit more casual. And like we get way too freaky in this casual stuff way too much. Like across the board people, like we need to chill the fuck out. I went over to this one woman's house. She as soon as I walked in the door, you know, like you haven't even gotten a chance to like look around the place that you're coming in yet. Like she threw me down on the couch, got on top of me, she whispered in my ear, she goes, "I'm gonna call you Daddy." And I was like, it's Danny. Daddy is my father. But yeah, you know, it's like she was saying all this like weird shit. She's like, "This pussy is all yours." And I was like, "No, it's not. First of all, girl, you are your own person, all right? I may be sexist and a scumbag, but at least I recognize bodily autonomy, all right? Okay?" And then on top of that, I was like, "This is not mine, okay? This is a renter's market, not a buyer's. All right? This pussy is like a timeshare. 3 weeks at a time, and that's the next guy's turn. All right? This pussy is like an Airbnb. If I don't clean up properly, I'm gonna be hit with a Venmo fee afterwards. This pussy is like a halfway house. If I don't get in before midnight, clean and sober, I'm not allowed back in again." Thank you, thank you. Oh, no problem. Are you guys doing coke in there? No, I wish. Oh man, I was about to say, Totally. Keep that. I want the audience to think I'm cool. What's your name? How you doing?
Great. How are you tonight?
You're great. It's nice to meet you. Great. Okay, well, I've ran out my steam here. You guys have been a lovely audience. Thank you all so much. Let's bring Jacob back up here.
So skiing, I'm good.
There you go, Danny. Danny McCabe, everybody. Keep it going for Danny McCabe. Danny McCabe is a fucking idiot. Accused his Australian girlfriend of having a pouch. It's not just Australia. My wife had 2 C-sections. She's got 2 pouches. Get it? Okay. We're done, everybody. It was driving Will and I nuts. Danny is too young to acknowledge the fact that he was just describing the plot to Homeward Bound. Yeah, Shadow is the name of the golden retriever, teaching an entire generation that irony is cool. It's retarded. All right. If you're going to do a Richmond version of that, by the way, the Pixar version is that Bagel lives. But the twist is, Katie saves him. It's just a joke for people over 35. All right. Guys, this has been Comedy for Home Sweet Home. It's been a early night. Hey, once again, we had a couple new timers tonight. We've never had Zephyr here before. We never had Dawne. We never had Jessica come up and perform, so give them a round of applause. Thank you. This has been Comedy for Home Sweet Home. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. Thank you very much. Good night. Goodbye.